Uh, Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to finish what we start, I think was on Wednesday. We spoke already about the command and the traditional economic systems, okay? Anyways, I just want to remind you already, you have already over here all the information that you need to complete. Remember, the topic is Introduction to Economic Systems. You need to complete the vocabulary. Over here, this PDF is the document that you need to download it in order to complete all the activities. Vocabulary, everything is in there, and also complete the questions, the assessment. Question from 1 to 6. They are very easy to answer, so please do it, because eventually I'm going to ask for them. So please, you have to have already all your information written in your economic notebook. Okay, over here is the PowerPoint also if you want to consult it. Okay, now let's go right to it. The PowerPoint. Now today we're going to finish this topic and the next economic system that we are going to discuss. Also, I have another video for you to watch it and try to really understand what is the difference between these three economic system. Okay, now market economy. That's the third one, the type of economy. The type of economy. The market economy is based on individual choice, not government directives. Okay, like in the command, no, it's the government who is the one who decides. Now over here is the individuals. It means the consumers and the producer are the one who drives the economy. Consumers are free to spend their money if you have enough money, of course. Lopez, here Lopez. So that's the difference between the command. The command and they provide you. Now over here in market economy, you need to have money in order to spend it, okay? To enter into business or to sell their labor or to whomever they want. Producers decide what goods or services they will offer. It's not the government who decide what you are going to start producing. They make choices about how to use their limited resources. The producer, okay? To earn the most money possible. As an Adam Smith, remember Adam Smith is the father of the modern economy. He said here in the Wealth of Nations, that's the book, as I said, it's like the Bible of the modern economy. In 1776, when you make economic decisions, you act in your self-interest, definitely, but you are led by an invisible hand to promote their interests of others. Let's continue. Okay, now don't worry, we're going to go deeper during these two next week because we are going to talk about, for instance, next week we're going to enter into the command systems. Now in the command system, we're going to discuss the communism and the socialism, that both kind of systems are not the same. And then you will find out what is the difference between those kind of government systems, okay? Okay, let's go back to traditional economies. The one great advantage of a traditional economy is that it's so clearly answer the three economic questions. Remember the three: what, how, and to whom we are going to produce these products. A traditional society produces what best ensure its survival. They decide what they are going to produce in order to survive, only what they really need to survive and to live during the years, okay? Years to come. The method of production are the same as they have always been. System of distribution are also determined by customs and tradition. In a traditional economy, then, there is a little disagreement over economic goals and rules because they know already what they're going to produce. That's why there's no any disagreement. On the other hand, traditional economy resists changes. They don't want to change. They want to keep the same thing that they've been doing during generation to generation. Therefore, they are less productive than they might be if they adopt new approaches. Castillo is here, Castillo. Arriving little by little. Further, while traditional defines roles, eliminate conflict because they tell you what you are going to do, okay? And also prevent people from doing the job they want to do or are best suited to do. Let's move on now. Under pressure changing. Now, of course, the traditional economy has been under pressure. Why? Because of modern economy. Like new things that are like cell phones, internet, and Netflix, and all these things that are common nowadays. Okay, so that's why they especially the young people are the ones who are suffering and try to adapt to the new way of living. Now, around the world, traditional economies are under pressure from the force of change. Now, this is a tribe in Africa, the Kavango people of Namibia. Eli Flores is here. Eli Flores.
Profe, yo estaba aquí, nada más que me voy a cambiar el teléfono a la computadora.
Okay, no problem, don't worry, okay? The Kavango people of Namibia in Southern Africa, for example, have lived as subsistence farmers for centuries. O sea, ganadería de subsistencia. Subsistence farmers grow just enough to feed their own families. That is common in this type of traditional economic system. The modern, now this is the part, modern telecommunications, however, have bombarded the Kavango with images of the world beyond their homeland. As a result, many young Kavango want something more. Of course, that's common, eso es normal. Quieren vivir eso, no quieren quedarse ahí como sus papás. Than the life of subsistence farming. Thousands have left their homeland for the cities. Lo mismo que ha pasado en las comunidades como los Nové. Muchos se han venido para acá. Los Cunas, muchos se han venido para acá y han adoptado todo lo moderno. Así que eso es normal. Lastimosamente, al final, ese tipo de cultura y ese tipo de sistema va a desaparecer eventualmente. Lastimosamente. Okay. So thousands have left their homeland to the cities. Even the old way of farming are beginning to change. Okay. Let's move on. Now, this is a picture. This is the way they live over there. This is a penthouse. This is a penthouse, you know. And cómo aguantan el techo atrás con roca. Igualmente aquí, si ustedes se meten por San Miguelito, en la 9 de enero, van a encontrar algo así. Por eso que viene una brisa y se lleva todo eso y quedan a la intemperie. La manera como ellos cazan, rudimentaria, ellos, cómo pescan, y también acá, mire, cómo no usan tractor, sino 2 bueyes ahí jalando para el arado, okay? So that's the traditional way in this type of economic system now. As I said, you have over here all your assessments that I want you to complete it also. Over here, there is something, don't ignore this information, okay? We're gonna do this, but later, don't worry about this information. Now I want you to watch the video that can give you another point of view regarding this, regarding the tradition over here, the traditional economy and the market economy. Let's begin with the market economy and let's finish with the traditional one.
Mr. Sin channel. Today we're going to be talking about a market economy. Make sure you've checked out my other videos on a traditional economy, a mixed economy, and a command economy. There's also some more on capitalism, socialism, and communism. Those will all be important for you to understand. Now, let's figure out what a market economy is and how it answers the 3 basic economic questions. Now, while watching the video, make sure to use your guided notes. You can find them in the description below. I create the guided notes for each video. They go along with the video, and they're there to help you remember all the important things. That way, when you have your quiz or test, you know all the stuff. And if you need a review, you can just look at your notes. So a market economy is where businesses and individuals, our consumers, they make up all of the decisions. They are the ones that are going to answer our 3 basic economic questions. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about that, check out my video on the 3 economic questions. You can click on the top right now and view that video. Then come back to this one. But consumers and businesses, they will answer the what, the how, and for whom. They're in charge. The government will not play a role in here. This is where we'll have a free market or laissez-faire. In this market, supply and demand is key. This is where it'll be determined of what prices are, what we should produce, and for those people who want to try to go against the grain, they have the opportunity to, and maybe they'll succeed or they'll fail. Now, there's a bunch of different things that happen in this type of an economy. Ultimately, what's occurring is consumers vote with their dollars. When they go and purchase things, it tells the economy what they want, and then businesses react. The businesses that can't keep up and the businesses that don't react fast enough, well, then they fail. Now, we're going to get into some of the advantages and disadvantages, and there's a lot here. This is one of the economies you probably have heard a lot of over the past couple of years, especially going through high school. So let's figure out right now what the advantages are and disadvantages are to a market economy. Now, a market economy has a lot of advantages and disadvantages. Some of the advantages for a market economy is there is a high degree of consumer satisfaction, of just in general, people get what they want to buy. And there's a lot of individual freedom that occurs in a market economy. Businesses get to decide what they want to produce, how they want to produce it, and for whom. And over time, the economy can adjust to a lot of different changes, especially the small ones. The day-to-day changes, it does a very good job adapting to. An example here is when you look at gas prices. When we see gas prices for a couple of years consecutively be lower, we will start to see an increase for bigger cars and SUVs and trucks because gas prices are lower, people have more money, they'll start buying there. However, when gas prices go up for a while and it appears like they're going to continuously go up, we'll start to see higher sales of smart cars and fuel-efficient cars. In fact, factories will shift their resources to produce more smaller vehicles when gas prices are higher because they can sell more vehicles, and they want to make sure that they meet the demand. Supply and demand is what determines prices and what is produced, and that can be great. All of this individual freedom lets people be able to react immediately. They don't have to wait for a large bureaucracy to decide anything. There's very little government interference, and people get to make their own decisions. And so we see people happy, and we also see a lot of production being made. And innovation takes off in this economy. There's nothing to slow you down. You are the driver of your own freedom and destination, you could say. You get to determine what happens. While a market economy might seem great, there's also a lot of disadvantages as well. This is one of the types of economies that doesn't provide basic needs for everyone. There's a lot of uncertainty that is in a market economy, both for business and for the individual. It's hard, and a lot of people fail in this type of an economy. Now, the other thing that it doesn't do a good job with is providing services. It actually has a horrible time at providing certain ones. It won't make sense. And this is normally where we'll see the government step in. Things like the military, roads, water, electricity. That is normally where the government comes in because there isn't enough economic incentive for the private business to take over. And we'll kind of debate about that and talk about that more in class. But that's one of the areas that it struggles with. Another issue that the market economy has is it is susceptible to failure. If 3 things aren't met, it can collapse. One of them is consumers have to be knowledgeable. They have to have an understanding of what's available to them. Same thing with businesses. They have to know who they're hiring. They have to know information so they can make the best decisions. The other one is resources have to be able to be moved. You can't have it where a company could lock down an area and say, well, this is our road. We're going to block everyone else out. No one gets to bring in raw materials to build anything. It wouldn't work then. There has to be, and this is the third one, competition as well. We have to have a competitive market where supply and demand is functioning correctly. And we'll get into the debate of what the government should do with this. Some say laissez-faire, government hands off, don't touch it at all. Others say we need to have more government interaction and intervention. And that is a debate for another time, and we will get to it. So hang in there. But hopefully right now you can see some of the disadvantages and advantages. Now, for those economic questions again, I kind of stated it earlier, but just to make sure you understand, a market economy, the three basic economic questions are answered by the people living in the society. Everyone gets to decide what to produce, how to produce it, and for whom. It's up to you to make your own decisions. And that's one of the big benefits to this economy. And that's it. That's a market economy.
So Ryan, let's move on real quick to this one, okay?
Afternoon, evening, night, whenever you're watching this, welcome to the Mr. Sin channel. Today we're going to be talking about a traditional economy. Now I'm also going to have a video for a command economy, a market economy, and a mixed economy. There'll also be some for capitalism and communism and socialism. So make sure to check those videos out. Now enough talking, let's figure out what a traditional economy is and how life is like in it. Interested. Now, if you've seen my videos before, you've heard this speech, but take out the guided notes. You can find them in the description below. The guided notes go along with the video, and they do help. They're made for you to make sure that you understand all the important information. And when you need to go back and study, you don't have to rewatch the whole video. You can just use your notes. So take out your notes, and let's figure out now what a traditional economy is. A traditional economy is centered around the idea that as a society, you will just keep doing what you have in the past. Passing down of cultures and traditions is key. All economic questions, including the allocation of scarce resources, is determined by elders and what had been done in the past. Really, the individual doesn't have a lot of freedom in this type of economy. They're going to just do what has been done before them. If you were born into a family who's a farmer, well, you're going to be a farmer. And if this is how they tilled the land, well, that's how you will till the land. There's not a lot of room for innovation or change. You'll continue to do what people before you have done. Now, this economy is often practiced in rural communities and tribal life, and it still exists today. But this is a traditional economy. Every economic system needs to answer the three basic economic questions. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out my video on the three economic questions. You can click the card in the top right and view it. Then come back to this one and you can see exactly what's happening with those. A traditional economy is actually pretty simple how they decide to answer them. The first one of what to produce, well, it's based on tradition. So if you're born again into a family of farmers, well, you're farming. If you're born into fishermen, well, you will fish. There isn't a lot of leeway there. You're going to do what people in your family have always done. And that solves the what to produce. Now, for the how to produce, again, you will go off tradition. So however it had been done in the past, that's what you will do. And for whom, you won't have to worry about that question either, because society has already determined, especially in smaller communities and rural life, normally you're providing then for everyone in the society. Everyone has a specific task. Now, some of the advantages to a traditional economy is there isn't a lot of uncertainty. You know exactly what you're going to do. And that can be refreshing. It's less stressful, you'll have a little bit more free time, and you don't have to worry about as many things. On the other side, though, the disadvantage is we see stagnation occur. We start to see things level off. We don't see an improved standard of living. We don't see innovation. In fact, people who have new ideas or are different from others are discouraged and almost pushed out of society. They are rejected. It is unacceptable to go against the status quo. And so these can be big issues that really cause the society and this economic system to stall out and continue to stay the same instead of progressing and creating more economic growth.
Okay, let's stop right here, guys. Now, I think we have started the three. We should be an expert. Should be an expert. Don't worry, we're gonna go deeper into all these three systems. Okay, so only to remind you, remember, you need to complete the vocabulary. The title of this chapter is Introduction to Economic System. Complete the vocabulary and also complete the assessment. From question one until question 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Over here are all the resources you need in order to complete your tasks, guys. Okay, do you have any questions? No question? Excellent. Okay, guys, have a nice weekend. Try to relax, but not too much. Try to complete all your activities, okay, guys? Y los que no saben coser, comiencen a aprender a coser. O sea, con Julián. Ya nos vemos.